Hey guys, Enzo Flojo here, and this is the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast, the only show that brings you the latest scoop on everything basketball here in the Philippines. Whether you're a diehard fan, a casual observer, or just looking for some good old-fashioned hoop talk, you've come to the right place. So whether you're a fan of the PBA, the UAAP, the NCAA, Gilas, or any other league in the Philippines, we've got you covered. And if you're just discovering the exciting world of Philippine basketball, we're here to guide you through every dunk, crossover, three-pointer, and controversial college transfer. So get ready to be entertained, informed, and inspired as we delve into the world of Philippine basketball. This is the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast. Let's talk some hoops.
Hey guys, so it's Enzo. Finally, there's a bit of a face to the name. So the past 2 episodes of the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast, I haven't been showing myself. I've been using stock images like this one you see right here. But this is a quick reaction, so I just, put zoom on and try to see how this is going to go. It's a quick reaction to some of the latest signings in Philippine basketball. And if you're wondering what this title is, LeBron, Kobe, Michael, you'll find out in a bit. Especially if you're an Ateneo fan, I guess you're going to be extra excited. But there you go. It's quick reaction time because we have so many interesting recent signings in Philippine basketball. I'm not going to go through all the signings over the past, weeks and months. They've been just so many. But I'll be reacting to 3 main, they're not really signings, I'm not sure if they signed anything, but these are commitment announcements. All right? So we have Raffy Celis and Michael Asoro of Sacred Heart School, Ateneo de Cebu, moving from one blue school to another, from being Magis Eagles to being Blue Eagles, moving to Ateneo de Manila. And then you have former De La Salle Zabel junior archer, Junjun Melecio, younger brother of Aljun Melecio, committing to UST. And alongside him is UST Tiger Cubs star big man Mark Llemit, who's also committed to UST, staying in España. No? But the biggest one, quite literally and figuratively, is Kobe Demisana from Bacolod, Taytong, and then transplanted to Diliman. Played 1 season for UPIS, the Junior Fighting Maroons, in season 76 of the UAAP Juniors Basketball Tournament. And now, interestingly enough, even if we've heard rumors the past week or so about this maybe happening, it's actually out there. Kobe Demisana has committed to the Ateneo de Manila University Blue Eagles men's basketball program. So definitely some stuff to unpack here. I mean, with these 5 kids committing to these schools for their seniors career, if you want to call it that, no, in the UAAP. So first, I guess what I'm going to do is I'm going to read some snippets from the articles announcing these or breaking these big news. So first, from Tiebreaker Times, where they announced Celis and Asoro committing to Ateneo de Manila. The headline, I think, was really, really interesting. Blue planted blue, okay? Sacred Heart High School, Sacred Heart School standouts, Raffy Celis, Michael Asoro committing to Ateneo. And of course, you have that interesting picture with Coach Tab in the middle and Celis and Asoro flanking him as well. And it's very interesting for me. That's a bit of a pregnant picture, if you ask me. I find this very significant kasi if you're not in the Ateneo basketball echo chamber, kumbaga, no, you might not have noticed, but Ateneo schools outside Manila don't usually, okay, send their best student athletes, or their student athletes don't usually commit, okay, to joining Ateneo de Manila for seniors. No? At least not always, not even usually in terms of basketball. No? I'm not so sure about the other sports, but as far as I know, in terms of men's basketball, this is maybe the biggest commitment from an Ateneo school outside Manila maybe since the JP Aram days, maybe since Eman Monfort days. I know that some years ago, one Sacred Heart graduate, si Errol Pastor, committed to Ateneo. Although I'm not sure if he played only in Team B, parang Team B, yung nilaro ni Errol. No? But these two guys, Raffy Celis, Michael Asoro, definitely big announcements. I mean, we saw them in the NBTC this year, and both of them were big time players for the Magis Eagles. Of course, Jared Bahay, I coached him in Batangilas, assistant coach for Batangilas. So I handled Jared, and Jared, of course, was pretty awesome in the NBTC. He's number 1 ranked high school player in that tournament. But Celis and Asoro, gave very good accounts of themselves as well. No? In fact, based on this article from Tiebreaker Times, Raffy Celis, who's a native actually of Bacolod, just like Demisana, so he's a 6'3" wingman. He made the mythical team of the Smart NBTC this year, and his per game averages were 17.3 points, 10 rebounds, close to 2 assists, 1 steal per game. He played in the NBTC All-Star game as well, and he was ranked as the number 21 best high school player in that league. No? Celis, if I'm not mistaken, is born 03. Okay, so he's gonna be one of those older rookies coming in to Ateneo for next year. No, but that's good because he's gonna be coming in with a bit of maturity, definitely a lot of experience already, and as Tiebreaker Times wrote, a very versatile wingman. And then this next guy, one I'm really kind of excited about. Of course, we're all excited about Celis, and he's gonna make an impact eventually. Okay, is Michael Asoro. Now, Asoro, first saw him when he tried out. This guy's born 04. So he tried out for Batangilas under 18 last year. And naalala ko, although Jared can correct this kung mali yung memory ko, but it was Jared who actually reminded us coaches to look at Michael Asoro because in his words, sabi ni Jared, naalala ko pa, sabi niya, parang, coach, kailangan tingnan nyo to si Michael Asoro, angat to. Okay, so Asoro hails from Lapu-Lapu City, also an NBTC All-Star, like his teammates from Sacred Heart. No? He averaged 17.8 points, 3 triples per game, 3 rebounds per game, close to 2 assists per game in the NBTC National Finals. So definitely both these guys, Celis and Asoro, high scorers for the Magis Eagles. Do we expect them to be that in Ateneo? Frankly, nope. Because in Coach Tab system, kita naman natin, di ba? There's no one guy who's gonna score 20 a game or 18 a game or stuff like that. Even Ange doesn't do that. Dave didn't do that. 30 didn't really do that. So, I don't think they're gonna be expected to do that in Ateneo. But again, the bigger thing with this for me is that even after this year, I feel like Coach Tab is really planting the seeds. And it's like parang clarion call to all Jesuit schools. And they're about 8, I think, if my math is correct. So Ateneo de Manila, Xavier Green Hills, Xavier Nuvali, Ateneo de Naga are the ones in Luzon. You have Ateneo de Iloilo, you have Ateneo de Cebu, obviously, in the Visayas. Ateneo de Cagayan, Ateneo de Zamboanga, Ateneo de Davao, 9 pala, no? In the entire Philippines. So that are capable in a way of sending recruits, to the seniors. No? I think there are several other Jesuit educational institutions around the country, but those 9, I think, are the ones that are most capable of sending recruits to Manila if they wanted to. All right? But again, that's a big thing. If that Jesuit school pipeline is solidified and streamlined for all sports, not only basketball, that's going to be a huge thing for the Ateneo basketball, for the Ateneo athletic program as a whole. No? Second, so Junjun Melecio from La Salle Zobel to UST, and then Mark Llemit, okay, from UST to UST. Although Llemit, of course, is a native of, based on a Tiebreaker Times article as well, written by Matthew Lee. So Llemit is an 18-year-old, 6'3", kind of a combo wing big man, okay, from Laak, Davao de Oro, and he led the Tiger Cubs to the Final Four in season 86. They finished with 7 wins, 7 losses. No, that was enough to make it to the Final Four for UST, but they got booted after the Final Four round. No, he averaged 16.3 points, 8.3 rebounds, close to 3 assists, and about 2.5 steals per game, about 28 minutes per game for Mark Lemmit. And for me, those are very impressive numbers. For a wingman, 6'3", good size, I kind of feel like maybe, kasi in UST when I saw him play this past season, no, he was kind of a combo big wing. In Coach Pido's system, I'm assuming he'll probably be exclusively a wingman. So he's gonna have to kind of convert maybe, no? But I'm excited to see him. He's turning 19 this year because he's born 04. I kind of feel like sana we discovered him for Batangilas last year, but we didn't. No? Sayang. But he's good, and I think he's gonna be an asset for Coach Pido. Parang na-embody talaga ni Llemit yung mga pride puso palaban ni Coach Pido. No? So I think he's gonna be a perfect fit for UST. Melecio, for me, is a little bit more exciting kasi I coached against this kid. No? So, of course, obviously, like his Kuya Aljun and Kuya Alec, he played for La Salle, native of Bukidnon, obviously. I coached against him when I was an assistant coach for our Ateneo Paya Aspirants team back in 2019. No? We won the championship. Shout out to Coach Reggie Aramin, our head coach back then. No? Junjun Melecio and Ryle Melencio were the star players of that La Salle Zobel team in 2019, that under 15 team. Because both of them were born 04. Junjun Melecio 04, Ryle Melencio both 04. And they were the stars of that team. Ryle Melencio, obviously, the star big man for that team. Junjun Melecio, the star shooter, star guard for that team. In 2019, to be honest, based on my recollection as one of the coaches who coached against them, Junjun was actually mas angat pa kaysa kay Ryle, no? During that Paya Aspirants tournament in 2019, no? Junjun Melecio was just bombing threes left and right. He was scoring almost at will, especially against some of the other teams in that tournament. And he was so good that I remember in 2019, he actually made it to the UAAP Juniors roster of La Salle Zobel already. Ryle did not make it yet, but Junjun already made it. No? That's a testament to how good he was, how talented he was. I think lang, if I remember correctly, but he can correct me on this, parang nagka-injury ata siya nung season na yun, no? In season 82. Okay? Kaya hindi siya masyado nakalaro. No? But he's really, really good. Obviously, based on what we saw in season 85, umangat na si Ryle. I mean, Ryle Melencio was a beast, no? For De La Salle Zobel. I mean, I'm looking at Ryle's numbers right now. 15 rebounds a game, 17 points a game, 2.5 blocks per game, 1 steal per game for Ryle Melencio, more than 1 triple per game as well. For him, Ryle was a big part of our Batangilas under-18 pool last year. He did not make the final 12, but he was in play for that. No? A really good kid, and I'm happy for him. He gets to be in La Salle. We'll talk about that in another episode. But Junjun Melecio, you know, when I think about transfers from Zobel to UST, I think about obviously Jeric Fortuna, and then after him Renzo Sobido, and now it's Junjun Melecio, and my prototype. They're all guards and they're all shooters, no? And Junjun Melecio kind of fits that mold. And if Coach Pido eventually, because I think he'll need to be healthy. Feeling ko may iniinda pa rin si Junjun. If he becomes healthy and fully committed and really rediscovers his shooting form, I think he could have a similar, not exactly the same, but a similar impact to what Subido and Fortuna had in their careers. No? Maybe not next year immediately, maybe not even in 2 years, but if Junjun stays the course for UST, I kind of feel like that can happen, no, for Junjun. I'm happy for him. He gets his opportunity to be there in UST. I think magagamit yung dalawa yan, si Llemit at si Melecio. And now, to the big fish, so to speak. Because, I mean, for UAAP basketball fans, if you're part of group chats, and I'm sure you are, ang dami nyo nang siguro naririnig, nababasa na, ito si Kobe, baka lumipat ng Ateneo, baka lumipat ng Benil, baka lumipat daw ng ibang liga, di ba? Baka mag-NC. Well, didn't happen. Tumawid siya, hindi sa NC, tumawid siya sa Ateneo, no? I read in one of the group chats I'm part of na it's kind of poetic justice because UP was able to get Jared Bahay from Ateneo de Cebu. So Ateneo de Manila gets Kobe from UPIS. I'm not sure how accurate that poetic justice thing is, but I'm happy for Kobe. I mean, Kobe was part of our Batang Gilas under-18 pool and final 12 last year. Ang sipag ng bata, ang humble ng bata, good basketball IQ, and he's very, very coachable. No? So I would say that he's a very good addition to Ateneo. I'm sure Coach Tab is extremely happy. I saw this picture actually where Kai Balungay, Mason Amos, Christian Porter, Gio Chu, and Kobe Demisana were all lined up beside each other in Moro Lorenzo. That's going to be a fearsome front line for that Ateneo team. Those five guys. Of course, Porter is not going to be there yet next season. He has one more year for the juniors in Ateneo. Pero hindi ko lang kung mag-aabot silang 5, no? Baka hindi. Kasi Gio, I think Gio has 2. Baka mag-aabot sila 1 season. No? Pero those 5 guys, that's gonna be pretty awesome, no? If Ateneo can put them all together in the same roster. But Kobe is big. Literally big, character-wise big, talent-wise big. So much potential for that kid. No? And his numbers this past season for UPIS, obviously crazy insane. 17.6 points, 12.6 rebounds, 4 blocks per game, 2.6 assists, 2.1 steals. Obviously, he played a ton of minutes for UST. He was 4th in the MVP race for statistical points, no? And he was part of the mythical team. He's huge. He is huge in every sense of the way. And, if I were going to line him up with Seven and Mason, because those were our 3 main bigs in Batang Gilas under-18 last year, no? Of course, Luis Pablo was there and Ports was there as well. But if you're talking about 6'8" guys, those 3, no, more or less around that height, no. Obviously, Mason, I'd probably put him at the top as of today. Maybe 7 and then Kobe, but the gap between 7 and Kobe is a little bit smaller, I would say. And more people talked about 7 and Luis Pablo, and they deserved it. But part of it is because mas exposed sila because of how GMA7 really covered the NCAA juniors end to end, start to finish, and they covered it really, really well. So kudos to GMA7, no? For giving them the exposure. Kobe not as exposed as those two. Of course, if you watch live streams on Facebook, you saw Kobe, but you couldn't see him in the same exposure as those other bigs. So in a way, baka may mga magulat kung gaano kagaling si Kobe, no? When he eventually plays for Ateneo. I think he's eligible for 86. That has to be very fun, but I think he's going to be playing for 86. So there you go. Really, really big news. I feel like we need to unpack this even more, okay? As the weeks go by. Pero ito, ang dami ng reactions na interesting, no? Like for the Kobe signing, ang daming mga tumatawang emoji, mga ganyan. Alright? Ito may mga good choice, Kobe for LeBron. And that brings me to the title, no, of this quick reaction, no. Kobe Demisana is in Ateneo. Michael Asoro is in Ateneo. LeBron Nieto is in Ateneo. So, for the first time ever, at least in my knowledge, no, LeBron, Kobe, and Michael are on the same team. And if you play 2K a lot, you probably have played all 3 names in one team. LeBron, Kobe, Michael. Well, Coach Tab will have that chance to play a LeBron, a Kobe, and a Michael eventually for Ateneo. So that's why they have this crazy, corny but crazy title right here. But there you go. So big shakeups, big recruits, big recruitment announcements, and I feel like we're gonna have more in the weeks to come. Obviously, there's still some big names out there, and we'll see where they go. And we're gonna have our own rankings and tier lists, stuff like that. So Please engage with us, and we'll see you soon. All right, so there you go. Thank you again for listening, for watching. If you got pretty excited by all the latest recruitment news, you guys are gonna like our next episode, which is actually supposed to be today's episode, but we gave this quick reaction, gave way to this instead. So ito totoo na. For tomorrow's episode, okay, we'll discuss some interesting questions like, should players choose playing time or go to the highest bidder? Okay. Should student athletes' offers and benefits be regulated? Naku, patay tayo dyan. Is the concept of amateur sports dead or outdated? As always, we're going to spotlight some fan comments on these big issues. That drops tomorrow, so watch out for that.
Again, thanks for tuning in to this episode of the Mabuhay Basketball Podcast. We hope you enjoyed listening as much as we enjoyed creating it. So don't forget to follow, like, and subscribe so you never miss an episode. Also, feel free to leave a comment because we love that engagement. And who knows, maybe your comment might be featured next. You can also read my stuff on clutchpoints.com, Tiebreaker Times, and of course, FIBA.basketball. Follow me on Twitter at Hoopnut or Instagram at TheHoopnut for more content and updates. Until next time, keep betting on yourself, shooting your shot, and seizing the moment. Mabuhay ang Philippine basketball.